All right, my peoples, how to pivot, how to get unstuck, how to rebrand, how to transition. There's a lot of different titles we could use today, but what we're really talking about is self-transcendence, how to transcend the self, how to transcend the self. You want to put up a chair for this one. As I reveal, explain, and illuminate and simplify the collapse of the economic gatekeepers. Although everybody is raising the alarm about the, rightfully so, about the economy, about the world, about what's going on in the world today, with politics and with economics, even religion and spirituality on a lesser degree. So there's a lot of changes going on in the world today. But I want to break down 3 points to give you some I'm using the word hope, some encouragement, especially after your boys the Owens Julius speech last night. What's up, cheering? My boy Donald J. There's a healthy reason for concern, and I get it. There is a healthy reason for concern when we look at the economy, but I want to talk about 3 points today as we talk about transcending the self, because there's a lot of going on, and it can get a little overwhelming. Let's use the word depressing. As I talked about yesterday, your depression level equals or matches your deception level. Deception simply means lack of awareness of the big G. God got a plan. I love Deuteronomy 8:18, my favorite verse. God has given you power to get wealth. Out of all the verses in the Bible, man, I mean, I wrote a whole book on Proverbs 10, 12, and 13, I think, that talks about the hand of the diligent makes one rich. This is not just about money from our perspective, because when we say get rich or we talk about money, we talk about paper. I'm talking about the biblical definition of wealth, which is currency. Currency is frequency. Frequency is what you frequently see. What you frequently see is let this mind be in you. And so it has to do with a mental disposition. And so what's occupying your brain? So Deuteronomy 8:18 breaks it down succinctly, man. It specifically, tells us how we should occupy the brain. The brain should be occupied by your God-given design. So I want to break down the things what I'm doing as I pivot, as I rebrand, as I transition, as we prepare for the new biological AI, whether you're aware of it or not. There is number one, the collapse of the gatekeepers. Barriers of entries are gone. This morning I just created 3 apps. The barrier of entry is gone. That's number one. Number 2 is the identity, the barriers to a proper ID is gone. The religious structures. Listen to my sister Linda this morning, breaking down the biblical aspect of setting an expectation based upon the biblical doctrines and the biblical narrative. For it is God who gives you the power to get wealth. The Bible says, 2 Peter, I think it is, God wishes to do exceedingly abundantly above anything that you can ask or think. So God wishes. We know that Jesus came that you may have life and life more abundantly. I love one of my favorites, Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Matthew 6:33 really breaks it down as well, because that is my new identity. Because my identity creates my sovereignty. That's number 2. Number 3 is the tools, which is what I want to spend a little time as we go through. I want to share my screen with you as I go through some of the tools that I've been using. Specifically, there's Lovable. There is one called Emergent. There's this new one called Replit. There's a plethora of different tools that we could use to assist us to get past or to take advantage of this new opportunity. So what is this opportunity that the universe, that God, the big G, has presented to us? Now, again, so a lot of people don't see this as an opportunity. Again, for me, the glasses I always have full, but I have to as my sister Brenda can testify to, we came from a place, although it has some extreme benefits, but from an economic perspective, based upon the world's definition of success, house, white picket fence, 2-car garage, 1.2 kids, dog, cat, monkey, squirrel, whatever the current definition. Well, we didn't meet the standard. We lived below the poverty level. We'll put it that way. And so that's what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about understanding how do we overcome the limitations of ourselves, our background, so that way we live above the poverty level. Whatever that level is, there's a lot of different levels to the game. So based upon you, but now we got to pivot, and so I remember, Brent, you remember, Brent? I know my sister Brenda remember, man, we didn't have no running water. We didn't have no electricity. What's up, Sister Amanda? Is that Sister Amanda? Sister Amanda? You're supposed to be at work, Sister Amanda. I'm just messing with you. So it's very important that we take advantage. I'm taking advantage of this opportunity right now. I know there's a lot going on. My world economically has got turned upside down. But instead of panicking, because now the AI is here, okay, how do I rebrand? How do I repivot? How do I transition? Well, it's all about self-transcendence, transcending the limitations of my current beliefs. So that starts with over an understanding that, okay, it's done unto me as I believe. The Bible says it too. I love that scripture that talks about when the Syrian soldier came to Jesus and he said, hey, my daughter's at home sick. Just say the word, though. You ain't got to go lay hands on her. Jesus stopped and said, oh, wait a minute. No, I've never heard no greater faith. So the soldier understood commands. He understood that there is a chain of command. He understood that there is a spiritual hierarchy. If you just say the word, the Bible says, if you say to that mountain, be thou removed and be cast into the sea, the mountain got to go. That's what it says in the book. So do you believe the book or you don't believe the book? Even though I ain't really talking about the book, I'm just laying the foundation of the book based upon Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the book. But the book is inside of us because it says the book is inside of us. So we have this treasure, but where's it at? It's hidden in earth vessels. What is this treasure? The Christos, the Christ inside of you. So it's very, very important that you have been given everything that you need for life in God. It's a mindset though. Right, Sister Amanda? Sister Amanda, know what I'm talking about? You have to change your mind. Let this mind be in you. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So it is this renewing of the mind that has to take place in order for you to be able to see this opportunity. What opportunity? The world, if you just woke up, or if you listened to your boy, the Orange Julius last night, if you pay attention to the news, whether we're talking about the weather, whether we're talking about the food, whether we're talking about the water, whether we're talking about economics, everything's going up, everything's quote unquote, let's use the word negative or bad. Depending on how you look at it. Remember, for me, the glass is always half full. It's never half empty. And so the first point is the collapse of the gatekeepers. So what do I mean by collapse of the gatekeepers? Well, when I started this, the biggest thing I had was I was pumping out so much content. So I had to figure out how to record the content. So that's when they had, back in the day, I was on Freedom Slips Radio and I was on Blog Talk Radio. And I was figuring out a way to record my content, whatever I was saying. This was, in the early stages. This when we had dial-up. Y'all remember dial-up, AOL. Remember, Brent, you still got your AOL email. What you doing with that, Brent? Y'all remember you have to wait for the internet to come up. Sister Amanda, you probably too young for that, Sister Amanda. How old are you, Sister Amanda? You what, 21? So I'm just messing with you, Sister Amanda. Don't hang up, sis. Don't hang up. So some of us ain't been around back in the, beeper days. Back then, there were barriers to entry. Another barrier to entry was coding. What I'm doing now requires, there are no code apps. And so it's very important that we over and understand that those barriers to entry are gone. Now there's still gatekeepers, for example, as you can tell, I'm a melanated individual. So I remember when I was purchasing my home, some of the barriers to entry that I had to go through. So in all occupations, there are barriers to entry, especially for women. Right, Sister Amanda? My sister Brenda, I know she could tell you as well. Brenda was in the government and she worked in that space. Whoo, almost 40 years, right, Brenda? 38, 39 years in that space. And I know that she experienced a lot of barriers. People who were trying to, hey, what is this black woman doing in this primarily male Caucasian environment? Because she worked with the government and then she worked with transportation and, like roads and buildings and bridges and stuff. And I don't know exactly everything that you did, Brad, but I just remember some of the stuff that you talked about, some of the meetings that you had to go to. How many other African-American, aka melanated women was in those meetings? I remember when you worked in Austin. And I remember when we lived with you for a while in Austin. And I remember seeing you get up every day and go to work. And coming home, and I know there wasn't very many, melanated women in that environment. That's barriers to entry. Now, your boy is trying to bring back those barriers to entry. So whether he's doing it knowingly or unknowingly, come on now. We all know what runs the system. Now, so I don't fight against the system, right, Sister Amanda? Why would I fight against the system? The system is the system. It was here before I got here. It'll be here after I'm gone. So there are some people who say, let's go march. Let's go picket. Let's go vote. Let's go. Now again, I'm not against. I'm just saying that there are barriers to entry when it comes to economics, when it comes to spiritual reality. In other words, the barriers to entry to spiritual knowledge is gone. You can go right now to Claude. You can go right now to Perplexity. You can go right now to Gronk or Croc. You can go right now. You can go right now onto the internet and type in sacred texts, and you can read the Dead Sea Scrolls yourself right now. You can go right now and read that. There's this book that talks about by this guy. It's called Hama. It talks about basically how I developed and some of the information that I got from my new blood code or blood notes or blood report. So you can look this up right now. You can read the Nag Hammadi text for yourself. You can read the Codex Gigas for yourself. You can read the Lesser Keys of Solomon and the Greater. So all of the knowledge and stuff are brackets, like I talk about, so the God of this world. All these books, the 1,000 books that I've written, you could do the exact same thing right now. You could write a book a day. That's what I do. I had to stop. I got so many, I just like, man, I'm writing too many books. So you could pump out a book every day right now, but just by using ChatGPT. And now I recommend just using it to edit. That's what I do. But you can write your whole book technically using AI. So what is the barrier to publishing? None. So what is the barrier to setting up an online business? None. What is the barrier to health? What is preventing you from finding out, is there a legitimate cure to the big C? What is the barrier that will prevent you? Let's flip over so I can, we don't want to go too hard in the paint, but there are no more barriers to entry. I just want to drive this point home just a little bit. Not too hard, because I don't want to hurt no brains. So there's this app it's an app builder called Emergent. I'm not promoting anyone. I'm going to go through like 5 or 6 of them. So I went to this app builder. Let me flip my screen. Don't y'all be looking at my office, Brand. Don't be trying to, don't judge me, Brand. Don't judge me. And so, yeah, that's all the wife's plants and stuff. So yeah, that's her desk over there. So this is a app builder. It's free. The basic part of it is free. So it's called EMERGENT. So this is the homepage. So if you go to the home page, it just tells you where ideals become reality. Now, again, another one is called Replit. And it has different one. This is the free. All of them have a free option. I always go with the free option. And if I like it, then this one is 20, then you go 35, different options. So again, I'm just breaking this down for you. So this morning, I upscaled, if you want to use that term. So I typed in what I wanted. I just typed in a basic prompt. And I clicked enter, bam, it produced, I took my my book, Blood Type, God Type. Now, you guys know I've been doing blood for 30 years. What I know about blood, I can write an entire encyclopedia. The average Gatekeeper don't know, well, I shouldn't say that, but very few people have my level of awareness. Now, that don't make me special, right, Sister Amanda? That just means I'm taking what God designed and gifted me to do. What did God design me to do? Well, I'm a 336. What does that mean? I like to create, but I like to research. Right, Sister Amanda? And so all I did was I took my information and I put it in this prompt over here. Now, again, I can do the same thing. I also have this account. Another one is, and again, I just want to show you so that way you know I'm not here to promote one over the other. It's called Lovable. So I did the exact same thing, except I did different stuff. And Bren, you liked this one. Remember, Bren? It was called the Sethian Academy. And all I did was I went to, again, these are all barriers to entry to get online to create. I did all this in a day. I mean, I'm talking about a day, like an hour. So all I did was type this. Create a Sethian Gnostic community school and university where students can take classes and learn history and the origins of Sethiism. Create basic, intermediate, and advanced levels. That's all I did. I just typed that in there. And then it shows you the date that I did that, November the 10th at 4:35 a.m. So I typed, again, I'm just showing you some examples. I'm not promoting one app builder, one website over the other. And I typed it in and I told it, and then it asked me some additional, and I asked it, okay, ask any additional questions as needed. And then I just hit enter, and it created this full online school paths. As you see, there's 3 paths of study: basic level, intermediate, and advanced level. Now, I recommend that you do what I do. So I don't write a book until I sell a book. What does that mean? We're talking about there are no barriers to entry. We're talking about Deuteronomy 8:18. God gave you the power. You probably gave the power away to the reverend, the doctor, or the bishop. Or you gave the power away to, your own low vibrational, oh, I can't do this. The white man got his foot on my neck. Especially for us black folks, us Negroes. Because, we can come up with some mother excuses. It's everybody's fault. Every Negro I know, well, not every Negro. Hey, is that sister? Excuse me. Every Negro I know, well, not every, but again, a lot. They come up with a lot of excuses. Now, granted, we have reason to. That is Sister Ambra. What's up, Sister Ambra? How you doing, my sister? I ain't seen you in 1,000 years, sis. How you doing? So, everybody, myself included, I sit around here and I feel sorry for myself when I went from making $30,000 a month to making $1,000 a month. And Sister Amanda, do you know my mortgages on my house, Sister Amanda? Now, so the house is valued at about $1 million, close to $1 million. Do you know my monthly mortgage is, Sister Amanda? Sister Amanda, you gonna help a brother out? Go and write that check, Sister Amanda. I know you got some deep pockets over there. I know. I ain't messing. Sister Ambra, I know you guys, and Bren. Ooh, don't Bren. I ain't gonna even talk. I know Bren. Bren, I should be moving in with you, Bren. Anyway, back to the script. So all I did was I just typed it in, what I wanted. Boom, it printed out. Then you can edit it. You can click here, view courses. I put all of the stuff. Then you can put the stuff in yourself, or you can just tell AI to build it out. So advanced level, everything. So if you really want to know who I am and what I believe, read this. Like, Before everything that you believe existed, Cain slew Abel. Abel was replaced by Seth. I don't know. I ain't heard a Negro preacher ever preach on Seth. Brand, come on, Brand. Help me out, Brand. Sister Amber, have you heard a preacher preach on Seth? Have you heard? Is that Sister Carol? Sister Carol, what you doing up in here? What's up, Sister Carol? I see you, Sister Carol. Sister Carol, have you heard a Negro preach on Seth? I mean, I'm just asking. So the Sethian Gospels, the origins. So you just click on this. Now remember, I took what I knew about it and then I added to that based upon, and let me zoom in just a little bit. So I have an entire course that take a Negro from zero to hero, and you get rid of all your spookism. But we still have the same problem. Sister Carol, you know what I'm talking about. What problem do we got, Sister Carol? Negroes have religion. The average. Not you, Sister Carol. So for whatever reason, Sister Carol, now again, this is a little bit off the script, but again, I like to reveal, explain, illuminate, and simplify. So look how it popped up first. One of my favorite scripts. Brian, you know this one. So Hebrews 6, 1, 2, 3. One of my favorite scripts. Because, Negroes like scripts. I ain't mad at you. Now, it says, now, again, let's look at it. Why am I bringing this up? Because we are stuck in elementary school. The average. Not Sister Amber. But the average is stuck in elementary school. So we can't leave. Now, if we were to look that up in Hebrews 6:1, again, this is not what the show's about, but I need to tell you, the barriers to entry is gone, Negro. All barriers to entry are gone, including rely-on systems. So, in other words, you don't no longer have to rely on the reverend, the doctor, or the bishop. Now, I ain't saying you shouldn't have one. Let's not get it twisted. Nothing wrong with, having a good reverend, doctor, or bishop. Nothing wrong with going to church. Nothing wrong with none of that stuff. You just don't need it. Now, if you do it, awesome. But Hebrews 6:1, again, this is blueletterbible.org. What is this? It's another resource that removes the barrier to entry. So that way you can't be walking around blaming the white man or the black man or your monkey or your squirrel or your rabbit. And it's done unto you as you believe or you don't believe. So if you got an issue, boo-boo, guess whose fault it is? I mean, I'm just saying. Right, Sister Carol? So it says, therefore, let me zoom in just a little bit. It tells us, therefore, leaving. So this is what I do for a living. Now, this is just first base. I go 7 bases. I know most folk ain't got the time to go 7 layers deep. I understand. You got things to do. So I take the word leaving, right? I click on the word English. Etymology, this is esoteric etymology, states that you have to go back to the original language. So that word leaving and comes from this word. So since I can't pronounce it, I click the button that tells me how it says.
863. ALCHEMY.
So I click on 863. It gives me the word. Again, barriers to entry are gone, Sister Amber. Any Negro and non-Negro can do this. So I can look up, okay, what does that mean though? I'm a sharp black man from Texas. I mean, I don't know what these words mean. So the word leaving in its original intent. Now, I got the current definition, Sister Amber, but that's not the original definition. So etymology means tracing shiznits back to its original causality. Negroes don't do that. I'm dumbfounded. I'm trying to figure out why. I don't understand. Brian, can you help me out, Brian? Help a brother out, Brian. How come? Now it says, according to the Helios Biblios, I mean, I'm reading it out in the book, Brian. It says to send away. So that's what we're supposed to be doing with the basic teachings. Send them away. To bid going away to depart. Of a husband divorcing his wife. Now, I had a first marriage. I divorced my first wife and I remarried triple chocolate. So whatever, the same thing I did in my first marriage, you supposed to be doing with Jesus Christ and Him crucified. I mean, I don't know. Sister Amanda, did I miss something? Sister Amber, help a brother out, Sister Amber. So it tells me I'm supposed to divorce, to send forth, yea, to expire, to let it go. Let it go. Let it alone. Disregard, to leave, not discuss, not do, not discuss, to omit. So we're supposed to go on, man. We're supposed to move. Just like in school, when you're in elementary school, man, you can't stay in elementary school. Eventually, bruh, you got to go to middle school. You can't stay in middle school. Eventually, you got to go to high school. You can't stay in high school. Eventually, you got to, eventually, take your time. No rush. Some of us got to repeat grades. Right, Sister Carol? Some of us repeated grades. So I get it. I ain't trying to rush nobody, bruh. Take your time, boo-boo, do you. And so it's very, very important that we're supposed to divorce. Now, since I know I went through a divorce, so I know what it means. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go deeper, further down into these other words that it has here. So there's some, so in etymology, you keep going until you can't go no more. And then when you do that in that language, guess what you do next? Well, you go down here to the Thayer's, the lexicon, and the Strong's, and you go into other languages to see the original, because remember, Jesus wasn't Greek. Supposedly he was Chaldean, or he was Aramaic. So you got to research this not in the Greek, but you got to research it in other languages as well. That's all it's saying. But what are we researching? What is the point? Barriers to entry. What I mean? Something that's preventing you from establishing gnosis. Okay, it's the barriers to entry are gone. Excuse me. So it tells us, going back, therefore, all we do is break down one word. So I do this for every scripture. I take the word therefore. I take the word leaving. I take the word the. I take the word principles. I take the word of. I take the word the. I take the word doctrine. I take the word of. I take the word Christ. Let us go on. So every word, that's called didactylos. That is didactic studying. So when you do that, it takes hours. If you really go through it and you do this didactically. Now, we're talking about just religion. You do the same thing when it comes to wealth. Same thing when it comes to health. Same thing when it comes to wisdom. Same thing when it comes to relationships. You should be using, Jesus only taught in parables. It's a story that expressing something using another story. And it has layers. That's all we're talking about. Therefore, leaving. So all I'm simply saying in all of that, getting back to the barriers to entry that has been removed when it comes to wealth creation and wealth accumulation. Going back to the definitions of the word wealth. Let me click over to my notes. So this is all I'm talking about. Self-transcendence. Because of the collapse of the economic gatekeeping. So this is the only way. There's many different ways. This is just the only way that I know, because this is what I've done. This is what I'm doing. And this ain't the first rodeo. Like, I've rebranded and recreated myself. Ooh, wow, damn. Ooh, snap. I don't know. How many times, Brian? How many times? If I go back from high school, I went into the Marines. Then I went into corrections. Then I went into law enforcement. Then I went into personal training. Then I went into insurance. If I had to go back and how many times I've pivoted, how many times I've rebranded, how many times I've changed, but my core stayed the same. That's number two. Number two, this is very, very, very important. The collapse of the gatekeepers is awesome, but the identity as intelligent sovereignty and wealth as a frequency. The new tools to creation, they come out. There's new tools. There's new AI stuff coming out every day. But the collapse of the gatekeepers, because for centuries, wealth creation was a fortress guarded by institutions, credentials, and certain bloodlines, aka inherited access. But because of AI, now there's other things too, but really AI has leveled the playing field because anybody can do just what I just did with the Sethian Academy. Or you can do what I just did with what I was showing you guys earlier with the taking my blood report, which is a part of the diaconia report, which is now a part of the new destiny report. And do what with it? Create. Now, some of us are not creators. I'm a 3, so I'm a 336. I'm a creator. But if let's say you're 112, well, that means that you are an independent leader. So as an independent leader that uses the number 2, which means peaceful, intuitive. So you're a peaceful, intuitive person that's very private. So that means you ain't going to be in no group. Or, right, Sister Carol? Sister Carol know what I'm talking about. Sister Carol, what is your life path number, Sister Carol? Or you will be, and you will operate in the dark side of your giftedness, meaning that you will be a dependent follower if you're life path number 1. So all I'm doing is I found my identity and I'm using it to establish intellectual sovereignty. Let me say that slow. Find your identity. Use your identity to establish intellectual sovereignty. Intellectual sovereignty. Nobody in the world has your intellectual capacity. Your capacity is how much intelligence you hold. Now, I have my own personal, what's my own personal chart? It's around there somewhere. My own personal acronyms chart. Here it is right here. And you can get this off the internet. This is what I use when I do diaconia reports. That's why it's a tablet. It's on paper. This is old school stuff. Now, I've had this, if you could see it, the pages are all frayed and yellow looking because I did this way before the internet came out. And this is the foundation. I've been using this for years. And what it does is it helps me when I'm doing coaching. So, Carol, you're 1 for real? I think I remember doing your report. I just don't remember what it was. But AI for me means attention inability. AI means attention inability. So you get paid based off of your attention. Energy flows where attention goes. So AI does what? It steals your attention. Ooh. So what if you knew that going in though? And you knew that, man, AI is trying to steal my attention. What is it doing though? Well, it's going to distract me. How? It's going to give me clever marketing campaigns. What's that mean? I already have a purpose. I already have a destiny. I already have a diaconia. AI says, we got another one for you. So Sister Carol is a 1. So based upon my report, and let me flip on my camera because I want to show you these numbers so that way you can understand, because it's a little different online, and online is just as good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I'm God's gift to the planet, even though I am. Right, Sister Amber? So these are the attributes and characteristics of the number 0. Now, nobody is a 0, but everybody has the number 0 inside of their report. Everybody. Not everybody, but most. Now, up on my wall, that's my circle. So I don't have no zeros in my circle. Oh, yeah, I do right there in the middle, but it's 1, 0, 2, 3. So everybody has those numbers. Now, y'all know I've been doing this for a long time. But for most people, they don't really understand what these numbers mean. And that's okay. Now, the number that Sister Carol has is the number 1. That simply means that her brain sees the world this way. And if anybody knows Sister Carol, this is how she operates. Sister Carol is a leader. She is not no follower. Right, Sister Carol? She's not going to be, sniffing up somebody else's butt. Not long term anyway. So she's independent. Notice these numbers to the side. Those are the numerical value of each word. That's another study for another time. That's some deep shitness right there. So Sister Carol is a leader. She's independent. She's self-motivated, verbally expressive. I've been seeing some of them videos you be posting, Sister Carol, on. You need to stay off them buses in H-Town. You know them Negroes in H-Town, they built different, Sister Carol. I don't know why you out there trying to, bump head with the Negroes on the bus. Yeah, you might want to Uber or just get your own transport. You know what I'm saying? So why? Sister Carol is going to tell you how she feels because she's designed by God to express herself. So if I am, let's say Sister Carol was married and she was married to a dude and the dude was trying to stifle and limit her verbal expression. Well, that ain't going to work. Right, Sister Carol? Because Sister Carol has to. She's designed by God. She's flawed on purpose for a purpose. That's the beauty of life by numbers. So again, that's a barrier to entry if you don't know this. So Sister Carol is individual, single-minded, self-sufficient, focused, self-determined, ambitious, self-centered. All of these are attributes and characteristics that Sister Carol has that's given to her by God. But what if Sister Carol goes to some reverend, doctor, or bishop, and he say, hey, sit your ass in the back of the church and shut the... Be seen and not heard. Well, that's going to ruffle Sister Carol's feathers because Sister Carol is not designed by God to sit in the back and just shut up. Right, Sister Carol? It ain't going to work. So I knew when I met Sister Carol, I knew that already up front because the first thing I do when I meet somebody is I run their numbers. That tells me how to interact with that individual because that's how they see the world. You don't see the world as it is. You see the world as you are designed by God to see the world. So that means Sister Carol's purpose, whatever God has for Sister Carol to do, she needs to be a leader. She has to be independent. She has to be self-motivated, verbally expressive, an individual, single-minded, self-sufficient, focused, self-determined, ambitious, and self-centered. She needs all of these attributes and characteristics in order for her to be successful in this world. Because God designed and gifted her that way for her to operate according to that frequency range, those verbs and those vibrations, right? Sister Ambra, what was your number, Sister Ambra? Your life path. I think you was a 2, right, Sister Ambra? I can't remember. But anyway, I could pull it up, but so let's go to number 2. Well, if you're number 2, you're intuitive, you're a peacemaker, you're a mediator, you got inward creator, you know without study. Boom. That is the biggest. When I talk to a person that is a 2, wow. Most people that are 2s suffer because they know shizness that they cannot explain because it comes directly from the throne. Intuition, cooperative, balanced, sensitive. Ooh-wee. You talk about sensitive. Patient, fair, and psychic. Most 2s, I remember this one client I had, she was a 2. And they put her in an institute when she was a kid. Her mom and dad told her that she was a witch. And she was like 3 years old. How in the world you put your own kid in a mental institution? Because all she did was ask questions. Y'all remember the Salem witch hunt? If a woman had a brain back then, and God forbid if she was a 2, or, that's right, Sister Amber, that is right. Sister Amber, you are a 7. Ooh, I remember now. So, Sister Amber, it wouldn't be good for you back in the Salem witch hunt days, Sister Amber. Yeah, they might have you tied to a tree with your books. And you know what happened to them after that. The next number is the number 3. Now, I have the 3 inside of my circle, but that's not the path that God put me on. I'm not on just the 3 path, I'm on the 6 path. And so let's go through these last numbers really quickly, and then let's get back to the true meat of the message. So 3, creative, creator. That's what I'm doing right now. Artistic, imaginative, communicator, informed speaker, joyful, optimistic. Now remember, these are my own numbers that I was able to, just use the word, research and get from the big G. Comedic, expressive. Yeah, that's why I would be cracking jokes, right, Brian? Now, Brian, if you remember when I was a little knucklehead, so my sister Brenda's on the line, and Brenda, out of everybody that knew me as a kid, remember, Brian, you used to always tell me, boy, sit down somewhere, you play too much. I was always optimistic, adventurous, comedic, and expressive, right, Brian? And even now, because why? I have all these attributes and characteristics inside of because that makes up the path that I'm on. I'm on a 3-3-6 path. So I got the number 3 twice, and then I have the number 6. So next is the number 4. So this is like the number, my wife. So my wife, D, she's not here to defend herself. She's a 4. Now 4s, foundational, order, loyal, discipline, manual, skill, stable, earth solid, earth people, hardworking, problem solvers, builders, reasonable, steady. All of those are attributes and characteristics of the four. Yeah, I don't got that. That's why I had 68 jobs, Sister Carol. Sister Carol, don't blame me, Sister Carol. Don't make fun of me, sis. And I tell people I had 68 jobs, they're like, damn, Negro, how many damn jobs you had? Why come? Now, I could get a job, but I couldn't keep one. Because first thing I told them when I would get to a job is I would tell them, hey, y'all need to do it this way. They were like, Negro, we've been in business for 30 years. You've been there for a week. Sit down. Because I don't have these attributes and characteristics. So if you put me in a call center, I remember when I used to work for HEB, you put me in a warehouse, you need these attributes and characteristics. Could you imagine if every kid was given this at birth? That way they knew how God designed them. They wouldn't experience so much frustration. Now, my oldest daughter, Sade, the next number is number 5. So the number 5 now, the reason I'm going through these numbers is because it's important, because you have one of these numbers. And you have one of these attributes and characteristics. Oops, sorry about that. Anybody know my daughter Sade? They know 5s, man, they love freedom. They love to have fun, toiling in the wind, fabulous, assertive, change agents, energetic, adaptable, talented, daring, adventurous, versatile communicator. Bam! If anybody know my oldest daughter Sade, you would know, versus my other daughter Sheree. So the number 5, again, that's why my daughter does what she does, because of her personality. So if you don't know this, man, you're in trouble. Then here's my number. I'm a 6. And this is what I do every single day. The point of this class is, how do you monetize this, though? How do you get paid to be you? So at my core, anybody that knows me, they know this is who I am. I'm compassionate. I love harmony, love. Now, I love love. I don't necessarily love people. I love love. So love is paying attention to details. So once you love, and then beauty, I love you like beautiful things. Quality, details, responsible, nurturing, visionary, guardian, parent, and perfectionist. So one of the things that get me in trouble all the time is my perfectionism. I like shizness done right, Sister Carol. But I don't apologize for that, because that's how God made me. So God made me this way. So this is how I see the world. Everywhere I look, this is all I see. Because that's how source code designed me. Then the next number, the number 7, that's what we were saying about Sister Amber. When I met Sister Amber, man, one of the things that stood out about Sister Amber is the attributes and characteristics of number 7. Because she asks really, really good questions. And Sister Amber would share really, really detailed information. Why? Well, she's a 7. So look at these attributes and characteristics. So if I brought her, Sister Amber's, I said Amanda, but Sister Amber's family on, they would all say, yep, she's very intelligent. She's very sympathetic, empathetic. She's a truth seeker. That's how we was able to connect. She's an expert, thinker, analyzer, loner, mysterious, secretive, skeptical, spiritual, analytical. Those are all of the attributes and characteristics of the 7. That's how her brain processes the world. Do you know that most Negroes I know walking around here, they don't have a clue of how their brain works? They see the world the way that it is, and they don't have the ability to use their identity to establish intellectual superiority and sovereignty. That's why they got to get a job. Or that's why they broke. Or that's why they angry. Or that's why they upset. They don't understand that intelligence amplifies sovereignty. So what if I give you artificial intelligence? If I give you artificial intelligence, Negro, you're in serious trouble. So most people I know, hey, what's up, Sister Amber? We got Sister Amber and Sister Amber. What's up, Sister Amber? Tapia. I ain't see you in a while, sis. How you grinding and shining? And I was talking about you earlier, Sister Amber, unknowingly, because we talked about the number 11 too. How most people, Sister Amber, did you have problems growing up as a child? I had a client who was an 11, and their parents put her in a mental institution, and they said that she was a witch. And because she was an 11, she was psychic, and she was very intuitive. So she could tell when Uncle Blank, who was a pedophile, but nobody believed her. And she said, well, Uncle Blank, touches me. And everybody like, no, Uncle Blank, because Uncle Blank was big wig in the church. They put her ass in a mental institution. So, Sister Amber, have you had any experiences? I mean, maybe not to that extreme, but your psychic abilities, your intuitiveness, your intuition, has it gotten you in trouble? I ain't gonna use the word trouble, but has your numbers led to the advance or the collapse, especially when you was younger? Because a lot of people have, when they express their God-given destiny, their numbers, it got them in trouble because they did not understand, again, why they were given that particular disposition. And so it's very interesting. So that next is number 8. So my son Kendrick is an 8. And the 8, and anybody understand my son? If you know Kendrick, then these are all of his attributes. Executive, make great decisions. Money magnet, material manifester, efficient, goal-oriented, ambitious, organized, powerful, mentalist, confident, decisive. Kendrick, man, he basically took care of Shamora. When my first marriage dissolved, Kendrick stepped up and he was like 8, and he became the man of the house. I would go over there, man, he would have the house in order. Kendrick was running things. He went to UT Austin, man, and graduated top of his class, changed his degree. Kendrick is high speed. He's just an awesome kid because his numbers are awesome. God made him that way. I just thank God that I was able to tap into this for Kendrick and Shamora, even though my youngest daughter, Shamora, transitioned. She was no longer here, but I was able to connect with her because I didn't, like my 2 oldest children, I didn't have this level of awareness. So Sade and BJ, they got, psychologically bullied, for lack of a better term, by me because I didn't understand. That's why this information is so important. It leads to intellectual superiority because there's nothing like knowing the self. When you know the self, you can't be bullied by someone else. And the last number is the number 9. Let me put this over here while I flip the page. The number 9, and again, I'm just going through these numbers for whatever reason. I got a feeling I need to go over these numbers, and I do this a lot. So number 9, again, royalty, nobility, humanitarian, sophisticated, magnetic, creative, demanding, pioneer, passionate, empathy, wisdom, analytical. All of these are characteristics and attributes of the number 9. So that's why this is so important, because without your identity being established, if you're a number 9 and you don't know these attributes and characteristics, what happens is you think something is wrong with you. So most people, especially women, they think they broken. I feel sorry for y'all ladies, for real. Now, I don't know if ladies know, y'all know that women don't produce serotonin at the level that men do. Serotonin is the brain chemistry that dulls emotions. So women feel more emotions biologically designed by God to be more emotional than men. You hold emotions longer than men. Biologically speaking, this is part of the amygdala and the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland that creates serotonin. So women don't create. Again, they Google it. Don't believe me. I'm just a country boy from Texas, even though I do know what I'm talking about. So what if you're a woman and you don't understand female psychology and how a woman's brain works? What if you're a man? Now, men, we got testosterone. Testosterone is awesome, but testosterone is the drug of the ego. So ladies, when you get a dude and you see, why is he so arrogant? Why is he so cocky? Testosterone. That's why eunuchs, no king would allow a male in his court unless he was click, 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 snipped because of testosterone. What does testosterone do? sex on the brain. So when women meet men, they, man, that nigga got sex on the brain 24/7 because he has he has a high testosterone level, like me. Woo wee! I could bring my first wife on and she'd tell you that nigga was crazy as a box of Skittles. In the beginning of this marriage, same thing, because testosterone. Testosterone. If you do not understand chemistry, mystery. Chem means black. History means mystery or story. The black story, because it's melanin. That's why I wrote a book on it. I had to figure out me, Sister Amber, because every reverend and every doctor, every bishop that I talked to, every therapist, everybody that I knew, they said, yeah, nigga, well, you got a problem. Okay, how do I fix it? I heard crickets. I remember the first guy that really had a big impact on me, Dr. Miles Monroe. And he told me, boy, you need to find your purpose. Okay, thank you, sir. What is my purpose, Dr. Miles Monroe? I don't know what it is, but nigga, well, you need to find it. How do I find it? Pray. So, Sister Amber, that's what I did. Sister Amber, that's what I did. I prayed. Guess what happens? Crickets. For whatever reasons, God don't talk to me the way he talked to y'all. For whatever reasons. Like I be listening, Sister Amber, I don't hear nothing. But what God did teach, the way God talked to me is through this. God talks to me through his word. God talks to me through words, through letters, and through numbers. That's numerology. That's gematria. So don't get mad at me if that's how God talks to me. Now, he may talk to you through monkeys or squirrels or rabbits. He may talk to you through, you go out and you be sun gazing. Maybe you do some earthing. God reaches us in different ways. For whatever reasons, letters and numbers and words, they just light up. When I see words, I don't see the words the way everybody else see. So it's like I get these downloads when I get, so that's how I'm able to remove the barrier of entry to wealth creation and wealth accumulation. It's an individualized activity. No two people create, no two people accumulate wealth the same way. And so that's the meat of the message, man, is that you no longer, you don't have a gatekeeper. Like, right, Brenda, me and my sister Brenda, we are biological, same mama, same daddy, and we polar opposites. Now, we got some stuff in common, but me and my sister Linda, we have more and more in common. So me and Linda, we click. Then Brenda and Glenn, they click. And my brother Glenn, I remember me and my brother Glenn got into a fight. We got into a fight because he wouldn't sleep with this girl. We was in high school, and I said, bro, the girl was all over him. And I said, bro, hit it. And he was like, nah, man, I'm saving myself for marriage. I said, Negro, are you slow? Hit it. My brother Glenn was like, nah. My brother Glenn was not a promiscuous womanizer. We put it that way. He's a pastor right now. So his way, he's born in August. I forgot Glenn's life path number, but I got him all here. I did my whole families. Everybody I know, I've done a report, whether they know it or not. Why? Because now I know how to interact with them. I know how their brain works. I know how they vibrate also. Why is that so important, Sister Amber? Because it's important to understand family dynamics. Do you know how many, man, I do verbal judo. What does that mean? I can get along with anybody. Now, people get angry at me, Sister Amber, because I don't get angry at them. What? Yeah, I've actually lost clients. Sister Amber, because I'm too jovial. Doc, you too happy, dog. Be angry, bro. Do you see what Donald Trump is doing? Man, I don't give a f about no Donald Trump. Joe Biden? Politics? Are you serious? Do you think I'm going to let something that's going on politically mess up my cheek? Nah, bro. It's not happening. So I understand it. Don't get me wrong. I'm aware of it, but I'm not going to let it mess up my day. So Amber said I have to remind someone that God, does not have a mental. Woo, come on, Sister Amber, come on. When someone, try converting a thing, that's so covering a thing, converting. That is so true, Sister Amber, because each and every one of us, we are designed by God differently. Woo, family dynamics, dealing with the kids. All of this is so important when it comes to wealth accumulation. One more thing, one more note on this word creates world creates wealth. So this is my, look how I've been carrying this thing around for about 15 years. And the reason I've been carrying this around for 15 years is, like, this is my sister Linda. So notice the amount of red in my sister Linda's report. But, so Linda is what I just said about earlier. Remember that psychic, that master number 11? So she's a 2. 11, 2. Then down here, this is 178. So that means she's a peaceful, intuitive psychic who's a executive or make good decisions. They use her creativity to establish freedom. So that's why me and Linda likes freedom. She's designed by God for freedom. So I have my daughter. She had a daughter named Santana. So I did her report, Santana. And then this is so all my grandkids, every family member, that's Skylar Reese. So this is Brenda Faye. Who that? Brenda, you listening? So my sister Brenda Faye Washington. Y'all put a whole government name out there. I'm just messing with you. Brenda, don't hang up. So Brenda is so you see that's the 3 at the top. Now this is a older chart. Let me get the updated one. So my sister Brenda, we connect around, notice the 3, the life path 3. So that means my sister Brenda is very creative, but she's a 1. That means she creates in private. Anybody know my sister Brenda? She's very, very private, but she like me, 5, toiling in the wind, fabulous. Then she got another 5. Notice she got 2 5s. So my sister Brenda loves freedom because she's a fun. She loves stability. Notice that number 4 in our chart. She's very stable. So she's very creative, but her creativity is like, you can see my sister Brenda's yard. You can see her house. Like my sister Brenda's house could be like nobody lives in it. It could be like what they call it, the house that everybody comes to, the show house, show palace, whatever you want to call it, because it's in her numbers. So she's very creative, but she's very private. She's very independent. She's a leader, but she's fun. She's optimistic. All of these attributes and characteristics, they're all hidden inside of your numbers. So once you understand how this circle works for you as an individual, that creates clarity. Clarity creates certainty, and certainty creates confidence. And I learned, so how do I, like for example, my children have husbands, as you guys know. So first thing I do is, like my Sheree's husband, his name is Brandon. So what do? Bam. So this is Brandon's report. So before I talk to Brandon or interact with him, I make sure that I know him. Brandon, look at all the red on this chart. When I talk to Brandon, Brandon basically is like, who this nigga talking to? So I don't take it personally though. Now, when I was young, dumb, and stupid, I would be me and Brandon wouldn't be able to get along. Brandon is very private. Brandon is very independent. He's self-determined, vocal from the perspective of stuck in his own ways. Is that Brandon's fault? No, that's God's fault. God designed him that way. But what if I didn't know that about Brandon? Brandon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 12 numbers are 1s. 6 out of the 12 numbers. So anytime I'm talking to my son-in-law, I never challenge nor give commands and orders because I'm older and I'm his wife, which is my daughter. He's my son-in-law. But I know how to roll. I know how to interact with my son-in-law. So that way I don't come across trying to do something that I'm going to cause and trigger psychological response. Same thing with my daughter, Sheree. Now, if you notice, look at my daughter, Sheree, life path number. Did you see what that is? What is mine? So she's a 246. I'm a 336. So me and my daughter would bump heads when she was younger because me and her are exactly the same. She's very, very sweet. She's very, very compassionate. She's very, very creative. She's very loving. She's very family oriented. You should see the way she interacts now. She has a son, and she just gave birth to my granddaughter. So my daughter Sheree, bam, because of her numbers, I know how to interact with her. 6, 8, 4, 4. She's been and is very successful in their business because of the number 8. So all of this is extremely important to understand your children, your brothers and sisters, your supervisor on your job, everybody. If you really want to be successful in this world, you have to understand what we call psychology. Psychology. But it's deeper than psychology. It's biblical alphanumerics. That's what it really is. It's still mathematics. That's what it really is. It's gematria. It's the Kabbalah or numerology. It's been around for thousands of years. Do you really understand, and have you done any research on etymology? Most people haven't. So in order to collapse and get past the economic, quote unquote, barriers to entry, you have to be yourself. You can't be anybody else because everybody else is taken. You got to be yourself. So everything starts with how you self-identify. So what if you don't see yourself the way God designed yourself? Then you struggle in the area of success, and then you create your own barriers of entry by saying, no, I can't do that. Or I'm no good at that. Really, you are good at it. You just don't know you. So the thing, my clarity, my certainty, and my confidence comes from letters, numbers that was given to me by God. I did not select, to my knowledge, my date of birth, nor my name. God gave it to me. So that gives me what? Crystal clear clarity of myself. That clarity gives me certainty. That certainty gives me confidence. So when you are able to operate with that mindset, you're able to overcome the negative habit patterns when things happen to you because you understand you. And last but not least, again, is all of the different options. Now, we didn't go into some of the other stuff, but it's very, very important that you understand that there is no longer, you don't need permission to speak. You don't need permission to teach. You don't need permission to sell. You don't need permission to be yourself. The only gatekeeper now is the untranscended self. Let me say that again. The only gatekeeper now is the untransitioned self. The part of you that is still clinging to tradition or the old limitations from your childhood. So you don't need to ask permission anymore. You don't need to say, Mommy, can I do this? Can I do this? No, you don't got to ask permission. The only gatekeeper, especially economically, is your old you. Because remember, the reticular activating system doesn't want you to be successful. It wants you to be safe. It doesn't want you to thrive. It wants you to survive. So once you understand your biology and you understand the old reticular activating system and why it works, it's trying to do the right thing. But in doing the right thing, it's doing the wrong thing. So you got to be aware that the only gatekeeper now is the untransitioned self. Transition the self. You have to transition your own self. It's not the white man no more, black folks. It ain't the reverend doctor or bishop, religious folks. It ain't your mental disease and mental illness, the people that's into psychology. It's not the fact that you're overweight or underweight, the people that's into nutrition and exercise. Your own gatekeeper, your own limitations are your old limited self. Those beliefs that say that you cannot create, or you cannot manifest, or you cannot live your life according to your numbers. If you're one, you should be a leader. If you're 2, you should be giving people advice. If you're 3, you should be creating products and services like me. If you're 4, you should be very stable, loyal, have your good job, work your company, man, blah, blah, blah. If you're 5, you're a travel agent. If you traveling around the world, you're doing guided tours in Egypt. If you're 5, you fun, twirling in the wind, fabulous. If you're 6, that means you're about family. That means you're about community. That means you're about nurturing the next generation. You are teaching or sharing information like me. If you're 7, you're very analytical. Maybe you're a detective. Maybe you're working in some area where you're able to use your analytical skills to research R&D, research and development. If you're an 8, you own a business or you are connected with the business because you are a good decision maker. If you're a 9, okay, you are a CEO or because you are a royal humanitarian. You want things done royally. So, okay, you want to work maybe in the HR department. So all of these numbers have certain gifts. So those gifts take you before a king, according to the Bible. The Bible says your gifts will make room for you and take you before royalty. There's only room on this planet for your gifts. There's no room on this planet for your personality. So most people lead with their personality. They don't lead with their gift. So that means you got to go get a job. If you lead with your gifts, so how do you monetize your gifts? The way that you monetize your gifts now is that you use and you take advantage of all these tools that are coming out. Remember, don't lead with your personality. Don't lead with your education. Don't lead with your marriage. Don't lead with your religion. Don't lead with your gender. Don't lead with your, what did I leave out? Your skin color. Lead with your giftedness. Your gifts will make room for you. Your gifts will make room for you. Your gifts will make room. I'm the best in the world at what I do. There is no other maestro. There is no other master teacher 33. I'm the only one. Because I'm the only short black man from Texas that have the life experiences to be able to explain it, to reveal, explain, illuminate, and simplify the way that I've been doing. There's other people that have the same numbers, but they don't got the same life experiences. They got the same numbers, same life experiences, but they don't got the same blood type. They got the same numbers, same life experiences, same blood type, but they ain't got the same time of birth. They got the same place of birth. There is nobody exactly like me in the world. Lead with that. That's what I do. Lead with your gifts. Now you got to pivot though, because it's going to be working, then all of a sudden it's going to stop working. When it stops working, what do? Well, you do this. You understand that wealth is a frequency. That's all it is. Wealth is a frequency. Wealth is no longer limited by a number because wealth in its essence, it is a vibration. It's a pattern of thought. It is a group of related thought. What does that mean? Wealth now is the ideal. It's the thought that creates an emotion that leads to an action. Notice you need all 3 steps. I know a lot of folk who got the first step. They have a thought. But there's no emotion. And then there's no action. The only reason you don't take action is because there is no emotion. If you want to take more action, you need to create more emotion. How do you create more emotion? You create more emotion when you create more thought. Frequency. So money is frequency. How frequent do you visit that thought? If that frequency of thought creates an emotion, which is nothing but electricity and emotion. And once you over and understand that, then you're able to move forward because now that resonates with abundance. And then in order to bring about the transcendence of the self, you shedding the old inherited scarcity mindset. You're getting rid of those old beliefs that says you can only do it this way, you can only do it that way. It's extremely important because that limits, because we have to rewrite our lives according to this internal, I like to use the word, code, which leads us to, this is the new age of AI. Use artificial intelligence as a tool. Take your voice, connect it with your vision, and create value. Take your voice, your story, your truth, your resonance. Your vision is your brand, your archetype, your aesthetics, and add value, which is your offer, your transformation, your impact. So People buy transformation. They don't buy information. People, you can't tell me if you got a weight loss product, I'm not interested. But if you use autophagy and frequent intense training to bring about weight loss, I'm interested. So what you're selling is the transition, not the information. Talk to me about the value. When you tap me up, sorry about that. Talk to me about the value. What is the value? My pain point. What is my pain point? If I'm overweight, my pain point is I'm tired of carrying around this extra weight. How do I get rid of it? Okay, give me a system that helps me lose the weight. If I got a money problem, if I got more bills than money, your job is to create a system. That's what I do for a living. But I first must prove this system to myself. That is the alchemy of the self. The most important thing is self-transformation through implementation of divine information. Self-transformation through implementation of divine information. God gave me some information. I got to implement it. I got to prove it to myself. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm using all of these AI tools, creating all these apps and promoting these apps and seeing which app actually solves people's problems. Then promote that app. That is what is called AI amplification. So that's all. We're in an age right now where you take your own transcendent self. So once you transcend the self, because you're not the trauma, you're not your past, you're not even the bloodline that you've inherited. You are what God designed and gifted you to be. You are the voice of your lineage. You are the breaker of generational curses and codes. You are the builder of sovereign systems. A system is a step-by-step process that creates a result. And AI is a tool that you use. AI, man, you don't go to AI with a blank brain. You're in trouble. Go to AI and you tell AI, build me thus. That's the only thing. AI is not really, really good for, if you want to do research into the Bible or any text, use Bible Gateway or blueletterbible.org or get you, a lexicon. Don't go to AI. AI is only good for amplification of your divine revelation. AI is good for amplification of your own divine revelation. That's it. AI is only good for amplifying something that is factual, because AI may give you fact and it may not. You are the voice and you have a code to build your own sovereign system. AI is just there to assist you, to amplify you. That is what I call wealth accumulation. It's not a hustle. It's a ritual. What is a ritual? A ritual is nothing but a routine. Do you know that a lot of people get hung up on the word ritual? Because they don't know that it simply means routine. And a routine simply means something that is frequently repeated. Faith comes how? Do you know the word routine and the word faith and the word ritual? They all mean the same thing. Something that is frequently repeated that creates an emotional response. So wealth is not a hustle. It's a daily alignment with your God-given assignment. It is strategic creation based upon your God-given revelation. Wealth is an energetic calibration of your divine information. Wealth is energetic calibration of divine information. What I just gave you was divine information. And your job is to take that information, the attributes and characteristics. Again, going back to the 9. Let's say if you are a 9. So this is all of your divine information. Now you want to calibrate that into a system, a step-by-step process that solves a specific problem. AI gives you speed. Not only for self-transcendent, but also for meaning. That's it. AI is a powerful tool when it's used correctly. Going back to the example of the one that I created, the blood. So all I did was put this in there. And if I click on, this is O negative. This is A positive. So it created this chart based upon my information that I inputted. So my blood type is A positive. So if I type on A positive, notice the wheel turn to A positive. And if I go down here, it brings up the Sangius Galestis, which is a fancy Latin phrase. And so this is again the introductory information. I'm going to amp it up, create a full report. It's already there because I just put this here. And then I'm going to put this online for people to go to click on the link. And I'm going to have this report, $49, $99. After you go through it, you click it. And then that link right there, it says doc. You click on that. And then what it do? Bam. It downloads it. And then I click on that if I want to open the file. And so you can do the same thing at home. So it'll open a file. And then it will give me my blood type A report. Now, the next question you should be asking yourself is, okay, that's awesome. Right? Where you get the information from? Well, you guys know this ain't my first rodeo. So 30 years ago was the first class that I did on blood. And I went back and I broke down after the flood. And I went through all this informing to find out Noah, Shem, Japheth, Ham, RH negative, RH positive, XY chromosome. And I broke down all the blood types. And all the blood types lead over to what is called a God type, based upon X chromosomes and Y chromosomes, based upon the A and the W, which has to do with over understanding how the 7 planets, the 7 metals, the 7 rays, 7 days of the week. This is blood alchemy. So I took all these notes that broke down. Blood exposes the different levels of heaven. Heaven is a high vibration. So depending on your blood type, that determines what I call your arc, which is your angel and your planet type. And it gets into over and understand all of the archons. Sabato, Yabato, Samael, Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Leviathan. All of this informing is placed. But what did I do? I could do this by hand like I've been doing. Or I did it this morning using AI, and it took me about 5 minutes. Normally it would take me 6 months. So I did in 5 minutes what would take me 6 months. 5 minutes. I did it in 6 months. If you really, again, what are we talking about? The last piece of the puzzle. AI tools. Go over to turboscribe.ai. Turboscribe. I shouldn't be telling this. This is all of my secrets. Turboscribe. People ask me, Doc, how the hell do you write so many books? I go to Turboscribe, Sister Amber, and I take a audio file like this one, and I transition the audio file into, bam, text. Now, Turboscribe is the name of that particular AI. And I can export the transcript. I can open it, export, I can download the audio, rename the file, delete the file. I can I can go to TikTok and get a TikTok. I can go to YouTube. Now, I do this for my own stuff. But there's a lot of people who taking other people's stuff. You know, there's an AI that you can take anybody's website, URL address, post it in there, and it will make a shadow site off of all of the back end infrastructure. And you can steal, for lack of a better term. Again, I recommend you be authentic. I don't have to steal nobody else's stuff. I remember I had one client, old client, who thought that they saw what I had done, and they was like, hey, that's my stuff. Really? Information is out there, man. Everything I've done, information is free. Anybody, I just built a whole academy of Seth. Right. Go to Google, go to Claude, go to Perplexity, any AI, and type in what and who is Seth, and write a 30-page essay on the origins and the teachings and belief system of Seth. Click enter. 3 to 5 seconds later, boom, you got a 30-page book on Sethism. So what is the difference now? Because anybody can create information. Information is dead, as I found out. I used to make a bunch of money sharing information. Now, Sister Amber, that dog don't hunt no more, Sister Amber. So I got to pivot or go get a real job. Well, how do I pivot? Well, I'm a 3. 3, 6. I use my compassion, 6, to creatively create. That's what I'm doing right now. So what does that mean in English? How do you monetize your passion? Your passion is your purpose. How do you monetize your numbers? Well, first, embrace, learn, accept, fight with yourself to believe in yourself. That's the number one problem. You know, I've been doing this for 30 years, man. You know, the people that's in my space, that can't be in my space, is because their old self won't let the new self manifest. Identity crisis. 99.999% is just like what's going on with the trans movement. They're confused. They don't know if they're male or female. They go, I know, pull down your pants. Well, you know, just because I got genitals, just because I got a penis, that don't make me a male. Okay, do you? You might want to read this book. The Biology of the Temple. Let's keep it real, man. We live in a day and age where people are selling spookism. People are selling ghost spells. It's done unto you as you believe. Now, I just went through 5 different apps, builders. The last piece of the puzzle was the AI tools that allows me, let's go, and again, I'm wrapping it up, but you have to monetize it after you fight with yourself. To accept and love yourself. That's the first problem. And most Negroes can't get past first base. What is first base again? First base is you got your own optimization. I got mine, you got yours. This is the optimization report in print. This is mine. So I have a life management system, and everybody I've been talking about, I've been doing this for 30 plus, man. And everybody I talk to, I tell them who they are, and it's like, that's not me, Doc. I can't be wealthy. I can't be healthy. I can't be wise. I can't be good. I got trauma. I had traumatic events that happened to me. My therapist, the rapist. Get rid of your therapist. Remember what I told you. Now, I want to do one thing only. Manifest destiny. I'm not interested. I'm only interested in one thing. How do you pay your light bill? Can you pay your light bill on time? And are you happy paying your light bill? I know a lot of people that make a lot of money and they pissed the fuck off. They angry and they upset because they got to work hard. Nigga, I don't work hard. I work smart. I align my mind with my God-given design, period. I use AI to amplify what God already gave me. I don't use AI to give me nothing. What can AI give me? It's artificial, homie. But you should be using it to amplify. That's it. You use AI to remove barriers to entry. So that way you can shine. Because you already have everything that you need. God gave it to you. So I can write, in fact, I probably will. I will return this audio into a book today. And I will write it and publish it today. How am I going to do it? Let me show you. I'm going to take this audio and I'm going to download it onto my website. And I'm going to click upload right there. Now, TurboScribe is free. Just like most of these AIs. The basic report is free. Now, you get the advanced, blah, blah, blah. If you like it, bam, then you pay for it. If not, keep it moving. Now, once I get the transcribe it over into, like, this is one that I did. Matter of fact, this is a good example. So I'm just did this one. The science of self-sabotage and the solution. So remember, I did a talk on self-sabotage. I took that talk. How do I know? Look at the date. Y'all see that date? 11/26/25, the neuroscience of self-sabotage. So where did I get my information on self-sabotage? I really focused on this study the research by Amos, how you say his name, and Daniel. So, but I did the mother talk. I ain't copying nobody else's shiznits. I'm using my own voice, man. So I took that talk and I pasted it over here into a Word document. And then, if you really high speed, I took this and I went to, let me put up this one. This is called Copilot. I took the talk and I put it in the Copilot, and I told, whoops, sorry about that. I told Copilot to put it into a chapter format. And Copilot gave me, bam, based upon what I've said in that talk, it structured and it organized it into chapters. Then I took chapter 1, which is the words that I said. And from chapter 1, well, that's the intro. Find chapter 1. I put chapter 1 and I put it inside of ChatGPT. So I took chapter 1, the words, and I put it into, I put my words into chapter 1. And I told the AI, which was, let me find the AI that I used. It was, bam, ChatGPT. And this is my ChatGPT, and I put it in ChatGPT. And then you can see this is all stuff I've been doing on ChatGPT. Cosmological date, online course creation, esoteric meaning, breaking down, doing a report for a client, book rewrite request. Bam. So I put it in there, and put this up, book rewrite. And I told ChatGPT, hey, take my book and rewrite it or restructure it. And look at that, I've done, I don't know how many of these. And so there's the book that I put in there. So why am I telling you this? So that way you can see what to do with artificial intelligence. And all it did was that was the book, and it put it in there and it rewrote it. And then I took what it rewrote and I went back and I pasted it into this Word document. And then next, all I do is I go through and I read it. Most people believe fear is a spiritual weakness. The assumption, they assume hesitation is a lack of faith, or procrastination is a flaw of character. Yet neuroscience tells a different story. One that is far more compassionate, far more complex, and far more empowering than we've been taught. At the center of the story is a tiny structure deeper than the brain called the amygdala. So I'm breaking down why you sabotaging yourself. And I'm explaining that growth requires uncertainty. The amygdala fears uncertainty. So since your brain thinks what I'm doing is a threat, it releases chemicals that say, stop, Negro, stop. So I got to override it. So I've been knowing this for years, though. I'm just adding neuroscience to it. Because I know I got some Negroes that going to be like, oh, brother, praise God, brother, but that's not the, Then I got some scriptures. For the scientists, I use scriptures. And for the religious nut jobs, I use neuroscience. So I got something for both parties. So whether you are a religious nut job, not you personally, but people you know, right, Sister Amber? So whether you are a religious nut job or a scientific nut job, I got you either way. So all I'm doing is I'm taking what the devil meant for evil and I'm using it for good. The amygdala, the hypothalamus, and the pituitary gland, anytime you are pursuing what I'm telling you to do, your brain, your reticular activator is going to say, stop, stop, stop. You are going to mess up the past. Now, if you was a multi-billionaire in the past and, use perfect health, use the wisest man or woman in your circle, and your relationship was great, okay, you might want to listen to the reticular activating system. But all I know is the universe evolves. Things change. You got to change with it. But most Negroes don't like change. So the amygdala knows that. The brain is designed to keep you alive, not to make you fulfilled. So survival is the first priority. Stability is the first instinct. Predictability. So once you understand that the brain is interested in self-consistency, even if you are consistently broke, the brain doesn't care. Negro, as long as you are consistently broke, as long as you are consistently in a state of trauma, Long as you are consistent, firm, fair, and consistent, the brain doesn't care. So your job is to override the brain. That's why I wrote that specific book on the neuroscience of self-sabotage. So we could really realize that this ain't a spiritual thing. Although it is a little bit, because it starts in the spirit realm. Remember, behind every physical problem is a spiritual cause. So you got to deal with the cause. And then once you get past your own limiting beliefs, you take your life experiences, you put them in the form of a product, service, or information. Whatever is comfortable with you. There's 1,000. You can make physical products, as I started to do with my life optimization circle. You can make, what I like, digital products. You can, you can make, like I like, doing 101s, counseling. So I had to monetize myself by monetizing my gift. That's how I created my website. So all I did on my website was create and then place different apps on this site for the purpose of monetization. One of the first things I did way back in the day was the life management system. So I took the life management system and I created, all of these are different programs that I've turned into opportunities. Life management system, all of this stuff, wealth creation, digital education for digital revolution, the Sethian Academy that I was just talking about, bam. So I put that on my website instead of paying for an app. Why? I'm already paying for a website. So I took what the app created and put it on my website. Now, if I get 100,000 people who enroll in the Sethian Academy, I'm going to go back and activate the app. So what does that mean, though? Well, if you go back to, remember where I was at? Lovable. And I got all of this stuff. There's a little button right there that says upgrade and publish. Right now, I have, same thing with, I have hundreds of these. They are all prepared and ready to launch when I get the green light. That's what, but I'm a creator though. So I create stuff. And then there are some people who are like me, that like physical books. So if you like you old school and you're like, Doc, I like the app, but I want a physical book. Awesome. There is a website called Book. I always mess the name up. Book Patch. Now, remember, back in the day, I used to use Lulu. And I still, every once in a while, use Lulu. But most of the time, now I use this company called Book Patch because they can do it one book at a time. So I don't want to publish 25 books and put them in my garage and hope that I sell them. When somebody buys them, I create them. So, and I do this on Lulu, and Lulu is a great resource for publishing books, creating calendars, magazines, and it don't tell you right there. All of the stuff that you can print, notebooks, calendar, coloring book, magazines, educational books, photo books, children books, booklets, cookbooks, yearbooks. So you take your knowledge, you talk about what you know. Again, this is one example of product creation. Talk about what you know. Take that audio, upload it to TurboScribe. Take that script from TurboScribe, put it into Copilot, and tell Copilot to take what I said and put it into chapters. Take, again, each chapter one by one, or the whole document. It works better, as I found out, by one by one. Put it into ChatGPT. Put it into Claude. Put it into Perplexity. Put it into Copilot and tell it to write an essay or write a chapter with no bullet points and no dashes. Make it thought-provoking. Make it attention-getting. Hit enter. It's your words that are organized and structured in a way that gets people's attention and encourages them or motivates them to purchase the product. And then when that's all done, You got it all set up in a Word document or a PDF document. You want a physical product, you upload it to Lulu or BookPatch. If you don't want a physical product, last piece of the puzzle is I use payloads to host it. Now, you can use any site you want to host your document. But I have thousands and thousands. If I go back, I have this little, that my son brought me, external hard drive. That puppy right there has like the Library of Congress on it. There's so much stuff I've said and written over the years. So I put it inside of that document because it won't fit on my computer. Then I upload the stuff that I want to sell to payloads. And this is the last piece of the puzzle because you want to better monetize it. So if you can see, you just go to payloads.com. And then these are all, not all, but the ones that I have hosted here. So if somebody want to purchase it, so for example, I just recently did a book and show and audio on this called Guard Mode. So if I click on Guard Mode, it brings up the back end of what's included inside of that. So I got the price, but I had to upload it. It gives me all of these options that I can do. Edit, change file, delete, generate a code, send a download, test delivery. It has a product number. It also shows me what I uploaded. So it tells me, okay, this is what you placed here. I put an MP4 file there. I put a PDF document, and then I put another MP4. So I put 2 audios and a PDF document that makes up that file. So, and it allows me to then click on, it creates the link. Let me back up a little bit. For anybody, I share this link on social media. So when I click that link, it pulls up the document and the file that I created. In this case, it's Guard Mode. Automatically. That way I ain't got to do nothing. Now, if I wanted to promote it, I just like that. People say buy and download. And it shows here all my other products. So it shows, it says 818 products, even though I got more than that. But 818 products on this site. Now, let's say I want to take this link. I can copy it, right? Now, there's a shorter link also, but I can copy this. And let's say I want to go over to my Facebook channel, which I'm using right now, right? And if I click on Facebook and I take and paste that link into my Facebook page, and it pulls up that exact document. That way I don't have to do anything. Now there are also another AI that does even that automatically. Where you just upload, you just tell it which links that you would like to promote. And then in this case, I'm going to share with some of my groups that I'm in. I'm in a couple of groups, so I'm going to share it, that same link, with other people that might be interested in that particular link. And then I post it. Bam, that's my marketing. It's called evergreen marketing. Now, I could pay somebody, but I like organic marketing. So that book, I just posted on my Facebook page. And there it is right there. The exact book audio that I just created. And it has the link. So people click the link, takes that, click on that buy now button. And when you click on that buy now button, it takes you over to my link, which is, again, the website. So that way somebody can actually just type in or just purchase the product that they want to, that whatever the product is that they want to purchase. Let me make sure that and it should upload. I got so many pages open. It's taking a while. And then it takes me, bam, takes me over to my Payloads account, my PayPal account. And then the person puts in their email address if they want to purchase it, or if they want to pay by credit card. They just click on pay by credit card, and it pulls up the link for them to type in their credit card information. Now, on that site, Payloads, you saw 800 plus products. And so people just type in their PayPal information, their payment information. Now, on my primary website, let me go back, there is a host down here at the bottom where it says products and services. So if I click on that link, because again, putting everything in one location is quite, it's a lot of stuff. Because I got so much stuff that I published over the years. And so there's the book, Twin Flames, Greatest Story Never Told, Gnostic Demiurge, Number One Cause of Failure, let's see, 7 Keys to Metaphysical Marketing, Metaphysics, what's that? Oh, EMF, GMO. So gets in some of my older stuff. So there's not all, but a lot more of my products and services available on the website. Then I also have all that stuff that's available on my Payless page. And then again, just more stuff that people can purchase and buy. So in conclusion, the point of today's message is we don't got no problems. The world that we live in now, thanks to AI, sure, we got a lot of stuff going on with the economy and the current president, and you know, we just think about all of the problems. But wherever you are, whatever you're doing, right now the barriers to entry is gone. I've been doing this for so long. I have done for you system. So if there's anybody interested, everything I just explained, say, Doc, that's a lot of stuff. I don't want to do it. No problem. Give me your name, your date of birth. I'll do your report. Based on your report, I put that. Do you know what happens when you put 750-page Deaconry report into AI? Well, I've been doing it. It is intended to create a $1 million, let's say you want to make $10,000 a month. With the right prompt, put it into AI based upon the attributes and characteristics included inside of this report. Create $10K a month, $20K, $30K, $1 million a year, whatever amount of money you want to make, and create an entire step-by-step business that requires no or less than, for me, I put the exact time, 2 hours. That requires less than 2 hours a day of my time and energy. Ask any additional clarifying questions. This is the prompt that you put into artificial intelligence when you upload your attributes and characteristics. And AI, I've been doing this for clients all over the world, will create. And I tell it to give me 3 online and 3 physical products, examples. And then I give it to the client. I let them select whether it's a bookstore, whether it's a, yoga studio, whether it's a, a calendar, whether it's, like one was like an online coffee, because there's an AI app that white labels or put your label on the coffee. Another one was for one guy, he was in the fitness. So it was a protein powder. So the AI recommended sell your own protein powder. Well, there's a company that creates the protein powder, drop ship. You don't touch nothing. They purchase it, you get the money, they ship out the product. We don't have a money problem. We have an ideal. We have a self-worth problem, but we don't have a money problem. So if you need assistance with everything that I just talked about today, you don't know where to start. Number one, book a one-on-one and or sign up. Go to my website, masterteacher33.com. Click on the link that says done for you. I got a done for you and a done with you system. And I'm going to see you at the top. God bless. Sister Ambra, Brian, Sister Amanda was in there a little earlier, Sister Carol, everybody that tuned in live, man, I love y'all. I appreciate you. And then y'all can do about it. I'm going to see you at the top.